Hey, all you podcast listeners, you can find Slice of the Paranormal everywhere podcasts are found, or you can watch us on our YouTube channel.
Hey, hi, hello there, and
Hey.
What's up? Welcome to the podcast. This is Slice of the Paranormal. Me is Ryan. This is Christy.
I is Christy.
That is
And I'm Steven.
the Steven.
Steve is he.
I call him Steve. He prefers Steven. So if I call him Steve, I apologize.
Either or.
We've known each other way too long,
We have.
so he gets both. You're lucky to get Steve, right?
Yeah. I mean, the worst is like when people call me Stevie. I'm like, what am I, 12?
Well,
Oh,
you're
I've
actually
never done
named
that
after
to you.
Stevie Ray Vaughan,
I
aren't you?
am named after Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Is that
Yes.
true?
Yeah, my
Yeah,
middle
he told
name
us
is
that
Ray.
earlier.
Yeah, I gotta listen sometimes.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray
Improve
Vaughan,
those
the guitar
listening
player.
skills,
The
Ryan.
guitar player who's dead, and I'm not. I'm still alive, so
So far, so good.
I'm winning.
You still got four of those 9 lives left.
I do. I got 4 left.
That's a
something.
story for another time.
That is. My propensity to try to die.
Yeah, every once in a while, he
So,
likes to try to die.
maybe we should say why we're here. Did we say that yet?
We do. What do we do?
We look into weird paranormal stuff, weird history,
Investigate
investigate
situations,
stuff, cryptids,
talk about
witches.
aliens. Yep, werewolves, wendigos, what we talk about, all kinds of stuff.
And then
Random haunted sites, Indian lore,
Yeah,
that type
Indian
of
law,
stuff.
Yeah.
very cool.
we have our historian Steve here, who's great at all that stuff. He knows everything. And then we also review a pizza place along the way. Mm-hmm. Have a good time.
Yep, while we're there, we always check out our local pizza place, especially if it's one suggested by the locals.
Right.
And we'll talk about that when we get to that part of the episode.
Preferably suggested by the locals, that
Yeah.
way we get something good.
We have gotten good results that way.
That's the best.
It is. But today we're getting together to talk about one of our trips where we went to Jim Thorpe, PA. So now for old timers, Jim Thorpe was actually founded in 1818 under the name Mauch Chunk. So when you're walking around this town, do not be surprised. People call it either Jim Thorpe or some old schoolers are like, it's Mauch Chunk.
Now,
Mauch Chunk.
Mauch Chunk. Okay.
is that like a Native American word?
It is. It's Unami is the tribe, and they're an Algonquin-speaking tribe, and
They're
it
dangerous,
means-
right? Unamis.
They're not dangerous.
No, huge water comes over.
Oh, tsunami.
Oh, that's a tsunami.
Tsunami.
Different thing. Okay.
So
Sorry.
what it's named after is it meant bear place because
Mauch Chunk means bear place.
it
huh?
means bear place because the ridge resembled a sleeping bear. So that's why the Native Americans named it Mauch Chunk.
That's adorable.
So
That is adorable.
the town is actually founded by the Lehigh Coal and Navigation Company, and they mined a lot of coal there. They brought the coal down the hill on a gravity hill called the Switchback. We drove by one of the
Oh, yeah.
Switchback cars, which I guess in the late 1800s, people would like to, take joyrides.
And we had to, what's a switchback?
Well, it's this coal car that would be loaded up, and then it would be gravity would take it down the hill.
Because another one.
Because it would be that the coal would be pulling the cart down, and then the second cart would be going up.
Right.
That was empty.
Counterbalance. Yep.
And the coal would be
Just like a counterweight.
yeah,
It's kind of a,
And then they would
A
go
loop.
back and forth down the mountain.
exactly. So
It was almost like a roller coaster for them.
it was like a roller coaster. So,
That's
and that's
really
what
neat.
the people were riding it for
Yeah.
because it was a thrill.
Right.
It was, you adrenaline junkies, not
Really?
like a couch potato like
I
me.
mean, that's me. I love roller
so
coasters.
if you like roller coasters, you in the 1800s, you would have been hitting up the Switchback.
I wonder do you know how fast it went?
I do not off the top of my
couldn't have been
head.
too crazy though, right?
But,
you
hey,
never know. No restrictions.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
it was
Right?
gravity.
Yeah, like-
if you had
who
a
was-
big guy like me on there, I bet you got some pretty good speed.
Yeah. Get
you
two
know.
guys on there,
Yeah,
right?
If you had a bunch of thin little girls, I'm sure that it wasn't
Kind of
quite as
meander
fast.
down, right?
Yeah. So
So people with some heft on there, you get a good ride.
Sorry, I got us off.
it's totally cool. So the town's based off of coal, So when you think of Mauch Chunk, you get visions of miners and things of that nature. And the coal that was gotten there was taken to Easton, PA, and then it ultimately goes to other ports like Philadelphia, Trent, New Jersey, and New York City. So the town is famous for being the site of the Molly Maguire trials.
This is Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania.
Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania.
Kind of on the eastern side of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's 83 miles northwest of Philadelphia, and it's in Carbon County, Pennsylvania.
And it's known as the Switzerland, right, of Pennsylvania?
The Switzerland
Is
of
it?
Pennsylvania.
Yes.
That's a thing?
Because it has that look, all those old buildings.
Yeah, remember when we were there, like all the hills and everything?
It's like in the middle of the hills.
European vibe to
That's
it
the thing. If you
almost.
lived in or around Jim Thorpe, you know it as a place where you can go and there's streams and places to whitewater raft and hike and fish
And they're known for that train ride.
It's beautiful, and it's like a little downtown of like shops. It's awesome. I love
It's
going
enchanting. It really is an enchanting
It's a very
town.
cute town.
It's a fun day.
Yeah.
That's not why we went.
Highly recommend anybody go there if you get a chance, though. It really is quite beautiful. Almost
Yeah.
any time of the year, I think.
Is it the Poconos or outside of the Poconos?
It's pretty close to the Poconos.
Pocono-ish.
Pocono adjacent.
When you look at the
Pocono-ish.
Poconos Visitors Bureau, they highly push Jim Thorpe.
Right.
Because it's definitely in the Poconos region.
Right.
So the town is just, like I said, it's famous for the Molly Maguire trials. And for our viewers that don't know about the Molly Maguires, in the late 1800s, miners were not treated very well. Mm-hmm. And they were paid very poorly. They were under the rule of the coal mining companies. And when they got money, they had to pay for things like the dynamite that they used to blast the coal out.
But
And
what choice did they have?
they didn't have a choice. Then they had to use the money that they were getting paid to buy their goods from the company store, who was
So it
setting
all
the
recycled
prices.
back into the company.
Yeah, so they were really under the thumb of
And this
the
was
coal
really
mining
the
companies.
Irish immigrants that were
They were
really
Irish immigrants.
getting it. And
And-
it was the Welsh, right? That
Yeah, the Welsh essentially held the higher jobs in the coal mining companies.
in Pennsylvania or in this area?
Pennsylvania, because a lot of the Welsh had prior experience of working in coal mines, whereas the Irish did not. These guys
Right.
were farmers originally from Ireland.
Okay.
So when they come to America,
that makes sense.
the Welsh, who have the higher level jobs because they have the higher skills, they don't share that information with the Irish because they all have a Welsh cousin that might need a job, and they pull them over and they become the foreman. So the Irish are felt like they are under the control and they can't get out of their station.
sure,
of
they're
life.
putting in the work, they're doing what's necessary, and they can't get ahead. Who wouldn't feel frustrated?
So you have a problem with things like mine bosses start getting killed.
Mysteriously
You'd wake up and
disappearing of people.
unalive.
yeah, people. A wife would go to the front door and because she heard a knocking on the door, and they'd find a note called a coffin notice nailed to your door that had a coffin image on it with like pistols, and it would say something like "You're next," so you knew.
What?
Yeah, this
coffin
That's
notice. I like
messed
that.
up.
it was called a coffin notice. If you look it
Also,
up,
a good band name.
Good band name.
oh, coffin
Or
notice.
album, yeah.
That
Coffin
sounds
Notice.
like a death metal band.
Yeah, or an album
know.
title. Yeah, I agree. Probably
But
album title.
so the coal mining companies, like, we got to deal with this, and ultimately they get the Pinkerton Detective Agency, and these guys are come to the conclusion that these miners, Molly Maguires, are killing these people, and it's a secret society. So
Okay.
that's why a lot of people go there. They go there for the Molly Maguire history, which on a future episode we're going to do more of a deep dive into.
Right. We have that'll be a full episode.
That'll be a full episode because we really
Maybe
can't.
more so than a full episode.
Yeah, because there's so much on the Molly Maguires that I could tell you guys about that it would fill.
And there's so many
episode.
different towns that they were
Oh my
in,
God!
too.
Yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
towns that
Now,
have Molly
in Jim
Maguire.
Thorpe, there's not a whole lot of mines in Jim Thorpe, though, were there?
There's mines around there.
Oh, there were?
Jim Thorpe had a huge mining community. And
Oh, okay.
In fact, the town used to actually power their lights with coal mining gas. So
Oh.
they had gas lighting in their homes. So if you were a little sad and didn't want to wake up the next day, you would just turn on the gas and you wouldn't light your lights because
Steve, that's
you
so
could
messed
commit
up.
suicide, and it's an odorless gas.
Unaliving.
Yeah, unalive yourself.
Unaliving. So, and we here at Slice of the Paranormal, we totally do not support unaliving of anything.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We
Steve.
only
Yeah.
we like to search out the things that are unalived naturally.
Right. Yeah. We don't condone any of that. And
So, there's a lot of things I can talk about with that, but the town is not called Mauch Chunk anymore. It is called Jim Thorpe. And people wonder why we have Jim Thorpe's body in Pennsylvania. Now, Jim Thorpe is known as a great athlete.
the actual guy, Jim Thorpe.
The actual guy, Jim Thorpe. So when he dies, he dies in California, and his wife is trying to raise
Wait, so
money.
real quick, just Jim Thorpe was a sports. He played football, right?
He was an Olympian.
Olympic?
Oh, an Olympic.
He played in the Olympics. He did, I think, what, the triathlon?
Decathlon.
Or decathlon,
I
yeah.
think, and was it the pentathlon or?
Something. I'm not a
Right.
sports guy. Anyone that knows
so
me.
it was
he's the-
Olympics.
Yeah, he was Olympics.
And he was also-
But he was also, wasn't he the first president of the AFL, now the NFL?
I am totally out of
Possibly.
my
Jim, we're not going to go into
Fish out of water
Possibly.
here.
But now he's the one that ran without a
Shoes-
shoe or shoes he
They
got out of the
stole his
garbage
shoes.
can
crappy shoes.
Yeah.
They stole his shoes, and he
Yeah.
wore two different types of shoes and won.
and still beat their
Different
ass.
sized, yeah.
Yeah, like this guy was an amazing athlete.
Yeah. And I think he
and
was Native American, right?
He
Yeah,
was
what's-
Native American. In fact, that's his only connection to Pennsylvania. He was one of the Native Americans that was forced to go to the
So he's from
Carlisle
California.
Indian School. He's actually from Oklahoma.
Yeah, what was
Oklahoma,
his tribe?
I am not sure about his tribe,
Okay.
but I know he went to the
You could probably look that up quick if you wanted.
Thanks. I could definitely look.
Yeah.
Carlisle. So he goes to the Carlisle Indian School. But when he dies, his third wife, who I forget her name. I
Oh,
think it might
three
be-
wives?
I think her name.
He's a
might
mover
be-
and a shaker for back in the day then.
He's a big.
Did the
guy.
first two die?
Well, he died in Jim Thorpe dies in 1953.
Oh, okay.
And his wife Patricia is upset because the planned memorial for him had yet to raise the funds to bury him and have a monument in Shawnee, California. So she makes a deal with Mauch Chunk, and they agree to pay for his memorial. And I'm assuming she gets some money out of this. And in exchange, they changed the name of the town to Jim Thorpe.
Because he went to school.
In Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
It makes no sense.
It makes no
Pennsylvania.
It
sense.
makes zero sense because he was somewhat of a celebrity. And
It was a marketing ploy.
It was a marketing ploy and a tourist ploy.
to get people there.
Well,
Pretty smart.
His son, Jack,
Working to this day.
actually says that Patricia was motivated by money, and he tries to get his father's body returned to Oklahoma for burial, and he loses in court. So Pennsylvania, we win. We get to keep Jim Thorpe's body.
Hey, we get Jim Thorpe.
Oklahoma, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, screw you, Jim Thorpe, son.
Right.
That's terrible.
So there's not many reasons, I think, to go to Oklahoma, but they do have an osteology museum, which is a museum of bones. So that's totally in my wheelhouse.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to Oklahoma.
So, well, at some point we'll go there. So when we went to Jim Thorpe, we walked around town. One of the first shops I took you guys into was the Emporium of Curious Goods.
Oh yeah, up and downtown. By the way, this is the Emporium. Let me get a up and downtown. It is a up and down kind of hilly thing.
You park at the bottom of the hill by the railroad tracks,
If
and
you're
then you
lucky.
walk. So
It's not that bad.
It really was not that bad. You kind of talked it
Especially-
up. I was thinking it was going to be like pretty steep and pretty strenuous, but if you take your time and like go into the shops, it's really not bad at all.
Especially if you have like a drink or two.
yeah, if you take
Yeah.
your time, it's not a
That
bad
might
town
help.
to walk.
No, it really isn't.
Now, the Emporium is a cute little shop. It's like a real witchy shop.
That's the one with the
It has
cat.
It has the cat.
Okay, yes.
So
That
is,
was an awesome shop.
yeah, it's owned by
I
a
could
guy
have
named
spent all day there.
like Barrett Ravenhurst, I think his name is,
Yeah.
which is a phenomenal name. Just saying, and he was a
I
friend
agree.
of Ed and Lorraine Warren
Right.
of the Amityville horror fame, and obviously the Conjuring House,
Poltergeist.
and
All of that.
Right.
all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know. So he becomes friends with them. So if you go to this Emporium, you can find Ed and Lorraine Warren's books.
That's pretty cool.
But the store is also said to be haunted by a ghost cat. There's a gray cat that is seen in that store that is unalive.
You mean that cat wasn't real?
The cat is not real. So
Wait,
if you see,
you saw the cat?
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't see no cat.
man.
That'd have
that would
been
have been awesome.
No,
if
I
you
was
saw the
looking
cat.
all over for the cat. Didn't see it, but it was very crowded that day too.
It is always very crowded.
Yeah.
That store was kind of cool, kind of creepy. Jim Thorpe was a mixture, and especially because we went, I think, in October, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure when this episode's going to come out, but we went in, I think, mid-October, and it was a nice sunny day.
It was like October 15th, I think, is when we went.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
Nice. And it was
It was beautiful.
beautiful and a good amount of creepy. Like the people that
Halloween
live there, the residents of that
decorations.
area, all had. There's a lot of skeletons.
Yeah, they
a lot of-
really embraced the seasons.
It was
there.
cool.
They did.
Yeah.
In fact, I would love to go there during Halloween to see what it's like to
Actual Halloween weekend.
actual Halloween
yeah.
weekend. I think it'd be amazing.
I think it'll be really neat around Christmas time too. I just think it'll have a
Oh, yeah.
really
Like,
enchanting feel.
Can you imagine that place if it was snowing? I mean,
Right?
It would just have that great look. And then, like, literally, when you walk through the town, you're passing a ton of haunted sites. People have said that they've seen, like, when fog rolls into the town, that people have seen, like, miners, you know, walking the
Just
street.
walking about town.
Just walking the street of Jim Thorpe.
Unaccompanied.
Unaccompanied, you know, just
We didn't see any
ghosted.
miners.
I did not.
Unaccompanied miners.
But we did pass the Inn of Jim Thorpe,
Chunk.
which is a building that was built in 1833 by Cornelius Connor, and it was originally known as the White Swan Hotel. Now it burned down in like 1849 and was rebuilt and renamed the New American Hotel. Now, a lot of famous people have stopped there. Ulysses S. Grant, William H. Taft, Buffalo Bill, Thomas Edison have all stayed at that place.
Yep.
So,
It was cool. We walked in, you could tell it was old.
and it's had high class.
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
So, the ghosts there are said to turn chairs upside down at the site. TVs turn themselves on and off. Shadow figures have been seen. The spirit of a nurse is said to haunt room number 310.
This is still a place you can stay right now.
You can go stay. In fact, stay in room 310 if you want to be with a nurse.
You want to be with a nurse?
All the men are like, all right, 310.
Room 310 has been booked for the next 3 years for some reason.
There's a woman named Madeline who is said to have committed suicide in room 211.
Unaliving.
Water has been found left turned on in room 211. She is said to wear a white gown with a white brimmed hat and flowers, yellow flowers on her dress. And the sound of ghost children laughing has been heard at the site. Now, my friends, ghost detectives, which are Bob Christopher and Rich Rosel, you know.
You got
members of
friends?
I do, you know.
My bad.
Rich probably would not want me to admit that on camera. And there's a lot of members of Ghost Detectives, but they, I don't remember the exact episode, but they actually investigated the site. And they actually had activity in room 410 where they had a TV turn on it by itself.
Right above 310.
Yeah, like
Gee.
straight above.
Brilliant.
So
Makes
there's
sense to
3
me.
rooms you can rent out and see
210,
if you can get
310,
activity.
And 211.
At 211, 310, and 410.
Let's do it.
So by all means, and they actually captured EVPs at the site on the episode of Ghost Detectives.
That's cool.
So we also checked out, what was it, the Mauch?
That's a TV show? I haven't heard.
Yeah, that's a TV show that was on Fox 56.
Oh, nice.
I think they have 7 or 8 episodes that were filmed and released. And I was lucky enough to be on a couple of those episodes.
Oh,
The
for
one
real?
that did
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Shimokin.
I've been-
I didn't know that. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew that you were on some stuff, but not that.
I was filmed on a couple of those episodes. My team has been not only we did episodes with Ghost Detectives, but several members of my ghost hunting team have actually joined the Ghost Detectives crew and been there for all the episodes.
That's really cool.
So Rich Rosel's been there, Angel Rosel, and a guy named Joe Toey are all members of Coal Region Paranormal team, and they've been there.
Right, and you did Studio 227, right?
Studio 207 in
207,
Schmoken
yeah.
was also recorded with Ghost Detectives.
Right.
So we go to the Mauch Chunk Cemetery.
So you're basically famous, is what you're telling me.
Oh, God, don't say that.
We had no idea.
In the
We're lucky to
paranormal
be in your
community,
presence.
it's like a running joke being a para-celebrity. Like, someone gets on TV for 5 minutes, and next thing you know, they're doing tours and, doing speaking engagements because they're a para-celebrity. It's like, a para-celebrity is not really a celebrity.
Para-celebrity.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Celebrity
hey.
adjacent again.
That's right. Hey. To be it, rock and roll.
So...
Tell them, you do you.
Exactly. So we go to the Mauch Chunk Cemetery. The reason
Mauch Chunk?
Mauch Chunk Cemetery, still called Mauch Chunk.
Interchangeably.
They didn't change the name of the cemetery to Jim Thorpe Cemetery. When they
You say it together, Mauch Chunk.
And that means, again, what? Bear den?
it means Bear Place.
Bear place. And did you find out what tribe he was?
It's a lot. It's more than one.
I'm telling you, I just
Do you wanna
asked
know?
AI
Yeah.
today, and it gave me 2
Jim
tribes.
Thorpe
I just
was born
forget.
in 1887 or 88 on the Sac and Fox Reservation, what is now in Oklahoma. His birth name was Wathohuk, which means bright path in the sack of... In the sack?
Bright path in the sack.
He must have been a
capital
ladies'
sack,
man.
so I think it must be like something different.
Oh, well, didn't you say the Sac tribe or something?
His mother and a daughter, both members of the citizen Potawatomi Nation. Thorpe also had ancestry from the Menominee, Kickapoo, Irish, and French peoples. So, like I said, he was kind of all over the place. He had lots of ties to lots of nations.
Yeah.
So just saying he's
Sac and
Native
Fox
American.
Nation. Sac and Fox is what the
Sac and
determination.
Fox Nation.
Now, at some point, we'll have to actually go to his old school because the Carlisle Indian School is also rumored to be highly haunted.
How could it not be?
But it's also a military base, so we'd probably have to get a lot of clearances to get through there.
Oh, that might be a hurdle we don't know how to cross. I don't know. You got connections?
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
Okay, he knows a guy because I've been turned away at the gate already, so we'll see what you can do.
I'm just kidding. I don't know no guys.
All right. So we're looking for a statue
Mauch Chunk
in the Mauch Chunk Cemetery.
Cemetery.
And the statue is an 80-ton monument that is said to be 100 feet tall.
100 feet tall. We got there.
We did get
We had
there.
a hard time getting in because we thought we might be locked out, and we don't like to trespass. We're not trespassers.
There was a gate, but it wasn't locked.
And then we're like, we can totally go in here. So we did.
So we did.
We did. And what we were looking for is the monument of Benjamin Barge. Benjamin Barge was a highly educated guy. He taught at seminaries. He got a lot of money in the lumber business. So why we wanted to see his grave is he died on Halloween Eve in 1902. And supposedly, his statue is said to walk the graveyard at Halloween. So obviously, we did not see
His statue is?
his statue
That was.
walks the graveyard.
Wait,
So
what does
that
that
was
mean?
a model of a student, correct? The statue?
No,
Yeah,
the
it's
statue was a
It's
model
a graduate.
of him.
It's like a graduate, right? Yeah, it has like a cap and gown on, man.
Oh well.
Yeah, I thought I read something about
It's
it
got
being
like a cap and
like
gown.
the model
So maybe
for the
it's a student.
statue.
I don't know because he
was a student.
teaching
So the
at
cap and gown.
seminaries.
So that's why they say the statue roams, because it's the cap and gown version.
Oh, that might be it. So we
I
did
think we
not
just
see,
stumped Steve.
we did not see the statue move.
We
Didn't see.
we
the
did not
statue.
see that statue move. Also, we did not see 100-foot statue.
Yeah, you guys that's what
No.
you said originally. You're like, this is not a 100-foot
There's
statue.
and I didn't take a tape measure. I'm not a mathematician. I'd say 40 foot tops. 30, 35 is my estimate.
I'd
feet.
say maybe even 50. I mean,
Maybe 50. Sure. I
But
would,
like-
if they said 50, I'd be like, I wouldn't question that. 100 feet tall is not this statue.
so what if part of it's underground? What if it's like a vault underground?
I'm okay with that. If that's what it is,
The whole structure
there
itself
needs
is
to be like
100
another
feet,
like
but-
whole nother
Maybe it's like the Moai, like
iceberg.
in Easter
It's
Island.
bigger
Right.
underneath.
Where
Exactly.
maybe there's more that we just didn't see.
right?
It did not look 100 feet. Like, it did not.
What if it just gets bigger, like a pyramid underneath?
Right.
But that's what listen, guys.
All right,
I'm not
fine,
picking
yeah.
on you, but that's what the sign says. So
It says more underneath?
It says it's 100 feet
No,
on
it
the
says
sign.
there's 100 feet.
I know, the sign's a liar. That's what I'm saying.
So,
Never trust the signs.
I think you guys should write a letter to Jim Thorpe and be like, listen, I don't think the statue's 100 feet. I want you to change the sign.
I ain't got time for
Couldn't
that.
we just like take a drone there and launch it and see how far up it goes?
I don't know.
Measure?
There's
Like,
got
would
to
that
be
work?
some mathematical way to figure out
Laser
like, the height.
pointer.
There's
and-
lasers.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
So, while we're walking down there, we walk past the Hotel Switzerland is the next haunted site that I can mention. The Hotel Switzerland is at 8 Hazard Square. It was established in 1830. Chris Scares, a Jim Thorpe native, has actually seen a picture fling itself 3 feet from the bar.
Dang!
And it was also caught on the
Seriously?
security camera at the site. So
They have video of this?
They have video of this.
Why didn't we look that up?
Yeah.
And people have felt touched. There's cold spots. And people also claim to see shadow figures at the Hotel Switzerland.
The Hotel Switzerland.
Thank you.
Picture.
Christy, you read
flinging.
my mind.
So he's already
Yes.
looking up, seeing if he can find the video.
Do it
Right.
again. Hotel what?
Switzerland.
Hotel Switzerland.
Picture flinging. Picture fling.
flinging. We might not be able to use this, though.
Getting
That
anything?
video? No, man, I got nothing.
No video.
Well, maybe listeners or viewers could look it up and see if they
You
find
know
something.
anything about this or
Yeah,
have
let
access
us
to
know.
something? Hook us up. We need to see that.
Chris, if you're out there and you are the one that saw this happen,
Yeah.
let us know if you know where
Reach
how
out.
we can get the video.
slicewiththenormal@gmail.com.
Word.
So then we go to St. Mark's Church. Now, St. Mark's Church is the family church of the Packer family. Okay, so the big mansion on the hill is Alfred Packer, and he goes to this church his entire life.
A big mansion on the hill in Jim Thorpe
Yes.
is a guy named Alfred Packer.
Alfred Packer.
And he was a big name in Jim
He was a
Thorpe.
big coal baron, you
Okay.
know, and he had tons and tons of money. So, like, his family donated a lot of money to this church. In fact, when he dies, his daughter, Patricia Packer, donates a lot of money to this church to have it, built onto. And one of the things she wanted to have done was there were these like 40 steps to get up into the church. And it was hard for the older people to get into the church.
Yeah.
So she donated money to have an elevator installed. And the whole goal of this elevator was, when someone died, you didn't want to have to carry the casket up 40 steps. So
I remember this place.
so the elevator is to make taking caskets up and down a lot easier.
And what year was this?
She had the elevator and pipe organ installed, and she dies in 1912. So they would have been
So it was
just
early on.
finishing installing
Yeah.
this elevator in 1912.
Wow.
Because here's where the story gets a little creepy. Mary Packer Cummings is the first casket to ride the elevator she had installed.
She was her. Oh, no
So
way.
she dies just a few days after or before they finish the installation, and she becomes the first person to ride it. When she was alive, she said, "I want to be the first person that rides the elevator," because she donated the money.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's craziness.
That's so
And then
messed
so
up.
she then dies, and she becomes the first person's casket to ride the elevator.
And we're not just going to glaze over her name.
So,
Her name
I,
is-
I was just gonna say that,
her name
like,
is- I'm pretty sure it was Cummings Packer, right?
it's Packer Cummings.
Packer Cummings.
Unfortunate combination of last names.
Just a rough. That's
I,
just
I,
rough.
It
I
is.
agree.
Anyway.
Like, there's something there. There's a joke there.
Now, the cool
There's
thing
something.
is
There's something.
there was some choir singing there at some point, and later in life, and many years after her death,
The choir singing at the church.
is singing at the church.
Okay.
And someone in the choir saw what appeared to be the ghost of Mary Packer Cummings behind one of the
Riding the elevator.
columns in the church.
Oh, in like
Okay.
the
So she was standing behind one of the columns. So hopefully, Mary Packer Cummings, horrible combination
sorry.
of names. But you know
shouldn't have
what?
brought it
I
up.
don't.
I do want to point out that
I'm sorry,
in
you
the
did.
time frame that when Mary Packer Cummings' father dies, she, being a woman who's not married, was not allowed to access her money. So she actually is the girl that had to get married.
So, I got you. I'm sorry.
She had to get married, and she gets the
In order
last
to
name
use her money.
Cummings, so she gets access to her money.
marries someone else and gets access to her own money.
Correct.
She just had a man with her.
I wonder if she had like a list of
Because
suitors,
men had to
like
control
with different last names.
She just has to make sure that there's a man in charge.
a
of
man
her
in
money.
charge of the money affairs.
Oh, my God.
So she, at the time, was one of the richest women in America, and she could not access her own money. So when you're talking the late 1800s, early 1900s, this is really sad that she actually had to get married just to control her own fortune.
Sounds about right.
man.
And if someone's a million
Keep a woman in her place.
like her has to do that, think about like what our ancestors had to do. Like if
Like
you're-
earlier than that, you mean?
yeah, like if our ancestors' husbands passed away, like those women had very little options other than get married. So that's why you see a lot of women back
Yeah.
in the 1800s when their husbands die, they're married within a few months. If they do not wait,
It's survival.
it's survival.
So whoever married into that family got some money then.
Yeah, Mr.
Well,
Cummings was
Mr.
probably
Cummings, yeah.
very happy.
Probably
I'd use some of
was.
that money to change my last
Anyone
name.
with the last name Cummings.
Yeah, he's probably happy.
But then there's other places like we walked by.
So is that where we walked up the hill and saw the two homes up there?
Yeah, the first home we saw was the Alfred Packer Mansion, and then the second home is the Harry Packer Mansion.
And then we saw we went up there because there was a promise of possible drinks.
Yeah, they had a libations lounge.
Libations Lounge, and we were like, we gotta do this.
We gotta hit
And then
that
somebody's
up.
like, oh yeah, it's open, and we are like, okay. And then it's a hill, and some of our members did not make all the way up the hill.
The fairer members of our
Well, we
group
were
did not make
doing
it up the hill.
dowsing rod sessions.
They were doing something different.
We were doing
They were slacking
Doesn't
at the bottom
matter.
of the hill.
Because we got to the top.
no, we were not at the
Libations-
bottom of the hill.
Libations closed.
Yeah, we got
We let
no
you guys
libations.
check it out. We were like, let's see
So-
if they signal us, we'll go.
Sorry.
So we will talk about the Harry Packer Mansion.
And it
That's
was
one of the
really
things
only
on the-
about
on the
100
list.
feet, by
Okay.
the way.
I'm pushing ahead.
So the next one I want to talk about is actually the Mauch Chunk Opera House, which is they still have lots of great music that perform musicians that perform there.
That really looked cool from the outside.
It
There were
does.
flyers all over the front of stuff.
It almost
every
had
day, all
like
day.
an old Western vibe to it.
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
really does.
Kind of like saloony.
Yeah.
Now, that place was built, the cornerstone was laid in 1881, and in 2012, the television show Psychic Kids filmed there because of its supposed haunted activity. A guy named
I
Dan-
love that show. It's a great show.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like kids that had psychic abilities that they were,
That's with Chip, right?
I think so. And
Yeah.
Kids
they
that
were
had psychic abilities.
Yeah.
So they were going under the tutelage of an experienced psychic to try to hone their skills.
How old are these kids? Like,
It's all different ages. Young, like
Yeah, it was
6,
an
8,
interesting show.
12,
I
never even heard of this. I
I think it
15.
only lasted maybe a season or two.
Yeah, but it was very cool.
got shut down.
It did.
No, I didn't get chipped down. I just
Yeah, they
They
say
had to shut that shit down.
that it just didn't get picked up.
yeah.
I
for
gotcha.
another season.
Like Ghost in My Child, that was another great show.
Ghost in My Child?
Yeah,
Ah,
about
oh.
kids with past lives.
Oh, yeah,
I do like
yeah.
that
Very, very
stuff. I
cool.
do like that stuff.
Now the-
Another episode to come on
oh,
that,
we'll
maybe.
have to check it out.
Yeah.
So the general manager there is a guy named Dan Hugo, and he feels one ghost at the site is a projectionist. Although a worker was known to have fallen off scaffolding during the building of the site,
Okay.
so it could be this worker that
Could be
fell
him.
off, scaffolding. And he
Let's
that
call
guy
him
died.
Scaffoldy.
Now, in 2019, a guy named Eric Mintel and star of Ancient Aliens, Bill Burns,
Burn.
I'm pretty
investigated
sure
the
it is
site.
Bim Bam Burns. You were right the first time.
Yeah, I'm just going to move on. Instead of trying to
Sorry.
butcher his name further, Vince DeGracia, the owner, saw a ghost of a woman in the hallway leading to the balcony area. So when he saw this woman, he didn't think she was a ghost. So he goes up to see.
So he's like, "Hey, lady."
He's going to see what she's doing.
Yeah.
And he checks all the exits, and there's no way she could have escaped. She just simply-
Escaped.
She just disappeared.
She could never have escaped him.
Like he was a predator.
I'm sure he's not a
But what year
predator.
was this? This
Look,
is recent,
we're not
right?
saying that he's a predator.
He's like,
This
hey,
is just a
lady,
dictation of the
what are you
story.
doing?
Oh, you guys are horrible. So, okay, back to the libations lounge, and you're
There
being
you go.
upset that you didn't get
my attention.
any booze. So the Harry Packer Mansion, for those that want to GPS this, it's 19 Packer Hill Avenue.
19 Packer Hill
And,
Avenue.
The exterior of the home is supposedly the inspiration for the Haunted Mansion at Disney World.
It does. If you look at the picture online, it does look like the Haunted Mansion.
Now, Harry Packer is the brother.
If you're listening and you want to see this stuff, it's on our YouTube channel, so
Oh, yeah, totally.
check it out on there.
Harry is Mary Packer Cummings' brother. The mansion is actually built for Harry Packer as
He's got a
wedding
Harry
gift
Packer.
by his father. So he gets this house, this gorgeous house, as a wedding gift. If only we had parents that could afford
It's.
that.
Could you imagine?
It's amazing.
I'd be like, that's too much cleaning. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure he had servants.
yeah, okay.
So,
Now we're talking.
So to give you a time frame, this house is built in 1874, and like I said, it's a wedding gift from Asa Packer or whatever.
Ace is a pretty cool name.
And
I like that name.
How you spell
Strong. ASA.
Simple enough.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a self-help group. ASA.
ASA.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
So it's supposedly there's a gray ghost cat that's seen on the veranda.
Another ghost cat.
Another
Jim
ghost
Thorpe.
cat. Another gray ghost cat.
Weird.
It's probably saying gray ghost.
Yeah.
Maybe it might
Ooh, ghost portal.
be. Yeah, a cat portal.
Ghost. Yeah, cat.
Either that or
ghost
that cat
portal.
gets around, you know what I'm saying?
Supposedly, Harry Packer is
Tomcat.
heard and seen on the
Little-
staircase,
Here, a little there.
and a woman in black has been seen in the women's parlor, and on the stairs, in the parlor and on the stairs. And footsteps are also heard in the carriage house, and a ghost boy and girl have been heard running through the carriage house.
Ain't nothing creepier than ghost children, I think.
I agree.
Like
Oh,
that's,
agreed. 100%. I'm on the same
but
page.
yet I still kind of want to make friends with someday.
Well, you can rent. You can
No.
rent the carriage house to sleep over. You can sleep in the carriage house.
Friendly ghost children.
I didn't say they were friendly.
Right.
They're
Cool with that.
running around like that's
Scary
bad
ghost
kids.
children.
I mean, if it
No,
was
kids
last,
run around.
well, if it was last week, I mean, like the bell-snickle would be whipping them with a stick.
Oh,
you
right.
know?
They were too
they're
impish, right?
rambunctious.
Or was it they're too impish or
That
Iresome.
Yeah, if they were bad kids,
Bad
they'd get
kids, they got
beat,
the
or
bell
you know,
schnickel beat out of them?
or any of the other German holiday creatures
Yeah.
would have encountered these kids.
Cryptids.
They'd beat them or
Yeah.
eat them or slice open their stomachs, you know. So we have a couple other sites that we're going to talk about on another episode because
Yeah, Jim
there's-
Thorpe was awesome, and it was just too much to talk about in one episode. So
for people that think I'm missing some things, we're going to be talking about
Right.
on a future episode about the Jim Thorpe jail, more about the Molly Maguires, and the train station that's at the bottom of the hill.
Oh yeah, we
Yep.
peed there right away.
I told them all, you have to pee there, and I'll tell you why later. And I still haven't told them why I made them pee there.
we'll get there.
So we're going to be talking about that in a future episode.
There's Ryan. Save it for the pod.
Right.
Yes, for the cat podcast,
Come on,
man.
guys. Don't say it now.
literally, people, you don't understand how often they tell me to shut up.
Steve, stop it! Don't say
Yeah,
it now.
we get
Don't say it,
talking.
you know.
No, it's too interesting. Wait.
Yeah,
Save
they
it for the
want to
pod.
hear it here so that they don't have any knowledge when we're in the sites.
No, I want it to be authentic.
So, like, when you hear
It's more
it here,
fun to listen to
you
it.
get to actually be interested.
Exactly.
Rather than me repeating a story you've already heard.
Right, pretending to be interested because we're like, yeah.
So we were in downtown Jim Thorpe.
So,
Before we go anywhere else, I have this picture of us. If they can show it on the YouTube.
oh, yeah, which one do you have?
It's us sitting in front of this 100-foot statue. And we are sitting on it. And you can just tell it's not 100 feet, right?
And that's even
Now
from a
that's-
low
that's-
angle, so
I
it would
don't
make
think
it
that's a
appear
fair-
taller.
It made it look taller than it
Right,
actually is.
right.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
Are you, so you're firm on the 100 feet?
No, I'm just saying, like, if they put it on a billboard
Right.
next to it, like,
Dude.
someone should have measured
Well, how
it.
long ago was that billboard made or that sign made?
I mean, we have statues of evil people all over the place. So they just do whatever they want and then hope that no one thinks about it and cares.
Exactly. And now we did, like, I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but we did try to do a K2 meter.
Oh, that's
there.
right.
Not in this picture.
But
We got nothing.
nothing. at
Nothing.
that.
We didn't really get any
Nothing.
activity while we were in Jim Thorpe. We did check out some stuff, but it was more about checking out the actual places.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were mostly checking out the places.
And what's cool about these pictures we use on our most of these pictures, not all of them, most of these pictures are pictures that we took while we were there. Sometimes we use AI stuff, or sometimes we use historical, actual free stuff that we're able to use.
Stuff from other people's website, like that ghost from the old 76 restaurant.
Oh, yeah, the old
that we had
76
talked about
restaurant
before.
in Tapan, New York.
That had that ghost.
Oh, yeah, where
Body.
they caught the ghost in the dining room.
Right.
But is that all you got for Jim Thorpe for today?
That is all I have for today. That's all I'm going to divulge right now.
So in Jim Thorpe,
That was a pretty good assortment of, and we were just barely touching on it too. There's
Yeah.
still so much.
I feel like we went on. It wasn't a Sunday. It was
It was a Tuesday because remember, so much stuff was closed, and then we get back and we tell people about our encounter, and we're like, we went to Jim Thorpe, and they're like, oh, was it on a Tuesday? And when we said everything is closed, they're like, oh, was it a Tuesday?
That's like a thing.
Oh yeah, like we should have known everything's closed on Tuesdays.
Yeah, but the parking
In
was still
Jim Thorpe.
atrocious.
It was still crazy.
So the
There's
train
plenty
ride
of
was
places
still going.
open.
Yeah, the train ride was still going, but the mansions were closed.
There were some tours were shut. Yeah,
A bunch of stuff wasn't open.
Overall,
a bunch of
it was
shops
still
weren't
an enjoyable
open.
trip for us. But yeah,
Yeah.
We also got there pretty early too, if I remember. Like,
well, we did. We put a full day in Jim. Thorpe.
yeah, we got
We
there
did.
before the shops were even open in the morning.
So Jim Thorpe, old jail museum. We did Marciano's Pizza. Let's see, Marciano's Pizza. Where was that one at? It was in. No, it says New Ringgold, which might. Oh, there you go. Middle of nowhere, about 20 minutes from Jim Thorpe. So is that,
okay.
Because we did the one downtown and we'll save that one for the other Jim Thorpe episode. But for this one, it was about 20 minutes outside of town.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm actually drawing a blank too. I was thinking as we start talking about Jim Thorpe, it's gonna come up in my memory, and it is not. So I'm looking up the Gmail, just look at it, or the no, very small little cafe type place. Oh well.
what do we give it? What are our
Yeah.
ratings?
Well, the important part is what we gave it. So Steve, starting with you, buddy. Man, I think I gotta edit myself sometimes after we write these down. I'm trying to take too many notes, I think,
Oh,
when
no.
we're talking. This is awesome. So you gave it a 4.0. That much I know.
Okay,
4.0
sounds good.
out of 5. So we're a 4 out of 5. That's a great rating for you.
Yeah.
And some people like to double our scores. You want to get a 1-bite rating, just double it. 4.0 out of 5 would be an 8 out of 10, okay? So that's how we roll. But ours is a 4.0 out of 5. It says cream crust is the first 2 words. There's no way that you
Cream
said
crust.
cream crust.
Maybe great crust.
I would
Cream
concur.
crust.
It is most likely great crust. The next thing says great cheese to sauce ratio.
That's okay.
Oh, you're good. I like the thinness of the crust, so you got an even bite each time is what you said. So 4.0.
Okay.
Sounds like good pizza. We should definitely go there again. Christy, 4.0, not a lot of pizza bones.
Oh, yeah,
Want to
okay.
explain the pizza bones to people
Yeah,
that don't
okay,
know
so
what
pizza bones are the crust at the end that has no sauce, no cheese.
Sometimes on pizzas you got big pizza
huge
bones.
pizza bones. Sometimes you have little pizza bones. This pizza, I'm remembering because of that cue, very few pizza bones. It was all pretty much edible. And for me to say that, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I rarely finish a slice. And
Good
yeah.
taste. Cheese was even and congealed. Listen to that word you used.
Oh, look at that.
Sauce
fancy.
was sweet, and I like that, is what you said. Sauce was sweet, and
I like it.
Damn. Ryan said 4.0. 4.0 across the boards. 4.0 out of 5s across the boards for all of us. Great slice, solid pizza is what I said. Crispy without being reheated. Oh, yeah. Because that's cheating if you have to reheat it to get that crisp. So that kind of same crisp without being reheated. That's probably why there are no bones. That's why. Because it was so delectable.
I'm really impressed with this. I think this is the most consistent review we've ever given.
Most
We
likely.
almost never
We
agree.
always...
It's always a wide.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's a 4.0.
We all
And like,
gave it a
Christy's like, it's
4.0.
2.25.
and I'm like, that's a 7 out of 5.
Yeah, like,
I can't believe we actually all gave it a 4.0. That's amazing.
That
I
should
feel
be
like
a new
that's a
thing.
special, like,
we all get
ding, 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 ding,
cheers.
ding.
oh, yeah, cheers.
That's what we should do.
Agreement, pizza
4.0.
agreement.
I also said thin but not floppy. Cheese flavor was nice. There you go. Marciano's Pizza, a new Ringgold, PA, outside Jim Thorpe. Go check it out because
Yeah. We obviously enjoyed it.
unless you like your pizza bones.
I like pizza bones.
But yeah, so it was a fun trip. We had a great time at Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, I highly recommend
Yeah.
people go to Jim Thorpe. Check it out if you've never been there. And, just ask the locals if there's any ghosts because we got a lot of people that wanted to talk to us. So.
Oh, we sure did. I think someone even offered to do readings for us in one store.
Oh, yeah.
I can't talk about my stuff right now, too, because it's involved in the other episode. But yeah, good stuff to come. So stay tuned for the other Jim Thorpe episode at another point.
Yeah. Join us next time you crave a slice of the paranormal.
Peace.
This podcast was produced by Stone State Entertainment.